the Baltimore Dodgers. 1-2-3 inning started the game for both of these starting pitchers, and now A.J. Korsinski, the left-hander for the Dodgers, is back out there for inning number 2. And he'll start this second inning by facing the right-handed hitting DH, Trent Brosdale. First pitch in there on the outside corner for strike 1.
Brosdale changing things up here a little bit from last game. Went the bare knuckles, no batting gloves, and the last one has one on his left hand now.
And the 0-1, big breaking ball, catches in there at the letters, and the count's now 0-2 to Brosdale. Brosdale, a natural catcher, now DHing. The 0-2, swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Up with it is Wolanski, throws on to first in time, and there's one away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Korsinski, and there's one out in the second.
And you mentioned it earlier, Korsinski, a guy who's really good at getting outs with the strikeout. He's got 2 quick ones back-to-back. He's going to try to generate more of those in this Rockville Express lineup, who could be pretty tired after a long first game, had that rain delay, could be getting a little bit impatient out there on the mound after not generating a ton of runs in the first one.
Yeah, for Korsinski right there, his 15th strikeout of the season, working in his 16th inning. So that fastball misses down and away for ball 1 against the second baseman, Billy Lennox. Lennox, the infielder out of Towson, just finished up his junior year with the Tigers out of Damascus, Maryland. 1-0, that's also in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-0. Lennox on the season hitting .250. This is his 24th game he's appeared in for the Express. 2-0 is a fastball right there for strike 1. Lennox has 84 at-bats and 21 hits on the year. Has left the yard 1 time and driven in 7 runs. Worked 5 walks and struck out 11 times. The 2-1, he grounds to second base. Joey Ortiz up with it smoothly. Thrown to first is in time. And 2 up, 2 down here in the second to the big Dodger lefty.
And there might not be a glove more sure in the Cal Ripken League than Joey Ortiz, the second baseman. Yet to record an error so far this year. Really been one of the most reliable guys on the Dodgers lineup all season as well with the bat.
So here's the third baseman, Jack Berry. He'll step in from the right side with 2 down already here in the inning. Berry hitting .230 on the season. First pitch breaking ball, that misses down low for ball 1. Korsinski's been going to that breaking ball in pretty much any count so far in this game. Now comes set. Here's the 1-0. That's in the dirt as well with another breaking ball. And the count's 2-0.
Very similarly to what Casey Gass did in the first game. When Gass got himself into any part of a jam during any count in any situation, he really relied on that breaking ball to get himself out of situations like that.
Korsinski set over on the third base side of the rubber. And he hits it off the helmet of Berry. And that's not a good scene there, but Berry gets up immediately and takes off for first base.
And you can see it on the face of Korsinski right now. Obviously, no one intends to hit a batter. You definitely don't want to see another baseball player get hit in the head with a baseball. Not a whole lot of protection for anyone in the batter's box. And so you can see Korsinski over there taking a look at what's going on the first base line, trying to make sure that he's okay.
Well, Berry's a little bit used to that this season. No member of the Rockville Express has been hit more than 3 times this year, except for Berry. He leads the team, now his 8th hit by pitch of the year, and he's the first Express base runner of the day. And that fastball misses just below the knees for ball 1. So it seems like he's okay over there at first base after taking one off the helmet from the arm of A.J. Korsinski. But now stepping into the batter's box is the first baseman, Dakota McFadden. Korsinski set on the third base side. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside, just off the black, and the count's 2-0. Korsinski set, pretty sizable lead over there for Berry. 2-0 misses well outside, and the count's now 3-0. Korsinski retired the first 5 batters he faced in this game, but has since hit Berry, and now 3 pitches not particularly close to the strike zone, especially on that last one, as the count's now 3-0 to the right-handed hitter Dakota McFadden. And he throws over to first, and back in plenty of time is Jack Berry. Barry on the season hasn't really showed off his speed, has only attempted 1 steal, and he was caught stealing. So 0 for 1 on the summer. Here's the 3-0. Fastball misses down low, and a 4-pitch walk to McFadden. And the Express now have 2 runners on with 2 out as the left fielder Sam Goldberg steps to the plate.
Yeah, Korsinski was definitely dialed in there through the first 5 batters, as you said, retiring them in order. Maybe after he hit Jack Barry with a wild pitch, hit him in the helmet rather, you kind of lose a little bit of your focus, kind of your intensity, trying to get back into things. You obviously feel a little bit of sympathy for what you did or for what happened, and you could get thrown off your game a little bit. And that's going to lead to a 4-pitch walk and 2 runners on in the top half of the second inning.
So now Sam Goldberg steps in. He's finished up his freshman year at McAllister College up in St. Paul, Minnesota. That's a Division III school that's had a lot of success up there. But he traveled pretty far to go to school. He's out of North Potomac, Maryland, went to Wooten High School in Montgomery County. But a lefty-on-lefty matchup here as Korsinski comes set on the third base side. Now coming to the plate is a fastball that's in there for strike 1. Joey told us around the diamond. Paul DePino over there at third base, and you got Austin James at short and Joey Ortiz at second like it always is. Shane Coker over there at first base, and Alex Wilansky behind the plate. Now A.J. set, looking back at second. Here comes the 0-1 to Goldberg. Big breaking ball catches the top of the zone, and the count's now 0-2. In the outfield, Brian Tago in left. Jaron Shelby wearing a different jersey, wearing the number 20 in this game too. He's in center, and then out in right field is Nick Ortega. Designated hitter in this game is Brandon McElwain, who was playing right field for the Dodgers in Game 1. 0-2 here. A.J. looking for the strikeout. Big breaking ball, but it misses outside all the way in that right-handed batter's box, and the count is now 1-2 as Goldberg steps out and trying to get something out of his cleat there. The lefty had 110 at-bats from McAllister College this season. He hit .264 with a .346 on-base percentage, 3 home runs, and 21 RBIs. Korsinski set, checks both runners, now comes to the plate. Fastball misses up high, and the count evens up 2-2 as the deuces are wild here with 2 down in the top of the second inning. Dodgers and Rockville Express still scoreless here in Game 2 of this homecoming doubleheader here at Johns Hopkins. Dodgers took Game 1 by a score of 5-4. They got out to a 5-0 lead. 1 in the 6th, and then 3 in the 7th. Got things going for the Express, but they couldn't come all the way back. 2-2 is a breaking ball, but it didn't break down far enough, and the count's going to go full 3-2. So now the runners will get a head start with the count at 3-2 and 2 down here in the top of the second. Sam Goldberg, the lefty, at the plate, and the left-handed pitcher A.J. Korsinski is on the mound for the Dodgers. Korsinski sporting an ERA of 3.21 coming in. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball grounded softly up the middle. Ortiz coming in on it. Makes the catch. Throw to first is in time. He got the out. So A.J. Korsinski gets 2 outs, then hits a batter, walks a batter, but works his way out of the jam. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning here at Johns Hopkins. It's a 0-0 game between the Dodgers and Express. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Joey White. As we're set to go here in the bottom of the second inning, the Dodger half, they're up with Shane Coker, the first baseman, coming to the plate. This is after a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first from the starting pitcher for Rockville. That'd be Caesar Capellan, and he's on the mound for inning number 2 right here. He goes into his wind, and the first pitch is a fastball poured in there, but just above the letters for ball 1. Capellan wearing that number 30 jersey, the right-hander, comes out of the full wind. Here's the 1-0. Change up there, in there on the inside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1. Finished up his sophomore year out of ASA College, originally from the Dominican Republic. This spring he made 14 appearances, 4 of them starts, and had an 8.1 ERA. Fastball in the dirt, counts now 2-1. He's got the velocity on the fastball, but needs a little bit more work on the off-speed stuff and the control as well. He struck out 33 batters this season in college, but walked 28. 2-1 fastball, that's at the letters. Maybe looked like the same height as that first pitch, but he got called a strike, and the count evens up 2-2. ASA, where he attends, is a junior college up in the state of New York.
He'll actually be making his way on over to Eastern New Mexico University next season.
That fastball runs way outside, and count now 3-2. And as Joey said, he'll be transferring. Most junior colleges, you play 2 seasons, and then you transfer, and he just did finish up his second season there. A glove right over his face as he stands on the first base side of the rubber. Wiggling the bat is Shane Coker. Here comes the payoff pitch. Fastball grounded up the middle. Over is Adorno. He's up with it, bobbles it, and he's going to have no play. Adorno originally came up with the ground ball, but couldn't transfer it from his glove to his hand as it dropped back down to the turf. And Shane Coker reaches on the error to start the second inning.
Yeah, Adorno had to show a little bit of range there, had to go across towards the second base bag. Wasn't able to come up with it cleanly and make the play on Coker, who's not the fastest guy out there, but without a clean play on it, you're not going to be able to get a throw to get him out.
So now Austin James, the shortstop for the Dodgers, steps in. Runner on first, nobody out. That's lined into left field, going over is Goldberg. Now he comes in and makes the catch and quickly one away as Austin James gave one a ride, but right where Sam Goldberg was playing in left field.
Now batting center fielder from the State College of Florida, number 20.
So now it's going to be the center fielder, Jaron Shelby, out of the State College of Florida, who will step in for the Dodgers. As we said, wearing the white jerseys in Game 1, he had his usual number 30, but with the blue Dodger jerseys in Game 2, he'll be rocking number 20 on the back. And the first pitch, he fouls straight back, kind of a cue shot off the end of the bat as the count goes to 0-1. Shelby on the season, he's been struggling pretty mightily at the plate lately, hitting only 122 this season. He's appearing in his 22nd game right here. And it's lined right back at us. I flinched a little, and as did Joey, but that's what that net's there for as the count goes to 0-2.
Yeah, Shelby having some troubles at the plate, looking to come out of it, and he made some pretty good contact in the first game. Had a sac fly that drove in one of the 5 runs, as well as crushed a double out into the left field gap. So he's starting to see a ball a little bit better here at Johns Hopkins University.
Now he's behind 0-2 in the pitches in the dirt for ball 1. Good little pick there from the backstop Barnwell. So 1-2 to Jaron Shelby. Caesar Capellan on the mound for the Express. First base runner allowed as that error that let Coker get to first. 1-2, swing and a miss on the high heat. He runs the fastball right by Shelby, and there's 2 away. It's the second K of the day for Capellan, and he's gotten them both with the high fastball. Gotten Brandon McElwain and Jaron Shelby both to swing right through it. And now Brian Tego will step in from the left side of the plate. He's playing left field in Game 2 for the Dodgers. Did not appear in Game 1. Capellan set, and the first pitch to Tego. Good breaking ball. Got him to chase after it. They'll check to the base umpire, and he said yes, he did go. Little breaking ball down towards the back foot of Tego. He couldn't hold off. Looks like Capellan really has the stuff to be a dominant starter, but maybe just the control hasn't been there so far. Now the 0-1, fastball fouled straight back, and the count evens up 1-1.
Tego, one of the few guys on this team who's a switch hitter out there playing left field today. Taj Porter being another one.
Porter got the start over at third base in game 1. He's not in the lineup, though, here in game 2. 0-2 to Tego. Hits a high fly ball. That's into shallow center field. Coming in is Howard. He settles under it and makes the catch. So Shane Coker gets on. Leadoff error committed by Adorno at shortstop, but that's the only base runner the Dodgers can muster up in the second inning. Still no hits for either team and no runs through 2 innings. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. White. Ready to go in the top of the third inning here at Johns Hopkins University. Brandon Crosby, the right fielder, hitting in the 9-hole in game 2 for the Express. He was hitting in the 8th spot back in game 1. Sam Goldberg was hitting 9th. They just flip-flopped here for game 2. As Crosby will lead off the inning against the lefty, A.J. Korsinski. His first pitch, good little tailing fastball there. Runs away from Crosby, and he swings right through it for strike 1. And the 0-1 here from Korsinski. That's way outside. Good stop there by Wolanski, even though nobody was on base. And the count evens up at 1. Crosby coming into today was hitting .242 on the season. Driven in just 1 run on the year. 1-1 is popped high into the air down the right field line. Going over is Coker, and Wolanski gives it a look as well, but that's well out of play. The count's now 1-2 as Korsinski looks for his 3rd strikeout of the day. He had a 1-2-3 first inning, then got the first 2 batters out in the second, but threw a pitch that hit the helmet of Jack Barry and maybe got to him a little bit as he walked McFadden on 4 pitches and came back to get Goldberg. 1-2 curveball, just got a piece of it and fought it off down the third baseline as the count stays 1-2. So 2 base runners back in the second for the Express. They still don't have a hit off Korsinski. The Dodgers have 1 base runner. That's the error Shane Coker reached on, but they also don't have a hit. Now he's set. The 1-2. Fastball misses outside. Count evens up at 2-2. Brandon Crosby out of Prince George's Community College. As he gets the 2-2. That's a curveball that he rips right back up the middle. And I spoke too soon. A leadoff base hit in the top of the third for Crosby.
Yeah, that one hit right back up the middle at Korsinski, kind of out of position after the throw, wasn't able to come up with any play. It was a hard hit ball that went right past the pitcher's mound, and as soon as you said it, Rockville gets their first hit, their first smack down the middle.
So now Adorno will step in. And the first pitch to him, he squares to bunt, but right off his bat and right back to the netting. Christian Adorno maybe just looking to move this runner over, although Brandon Crosby, a lot of speed over there at first base this season at PGCC. He stole 45 bases, was 45 out of 52 in attempted steals. Korsinski would throw over there, maybe thinking that same thing, but sliding back in easily is Crosby.
Alex Wolanski, all too familiar with some of the Rockville Express hitters. Last time they played at Joe Cannon Stadium, Wolanski threw out 4 runners stealing, including one that ended the game.
0-1, that's a fastball that catches the outside corner for strike one, and you know that's got to be in the back of the minds of these Express base runners as well, as they've seen what Wolanski can do behind the plate, and well, they probably didn't like it too much. Korsinski set and comes to the plate with the 0-2. Big curveball is chopped to first base. Coker up with it. He'll flip to the pitcher, Korsinski, and it's out at first base. A very close play as Coker had to hesitate a little bit as Korsinski wasn't over there quite in time. They just get the out. However, Brandon Crosby does move up to second base, so although Adorno didn't get the bunt down originally, still works out in the favor of the Express as they get the runner in scoring position with one away.
Yeah, Korsinski wasn't able to use the glove. They're actually barehanded that catch on the flip from the first baseman, Coker, to get the out. Kind of a awkward play there, but able to beat out the base runner to the bag and get the first out of the inning.
Here's Jacob Barnwell. He's 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to short. First pitch fastball in there at the letters for strike one. Barnwell, the catcher out of, as Joey mentioned earlier, The Ohio State University.
Got to add the every time.
Korsinski set. And the 0-1. Good breaking ball there, right down the middle, and the count's now 0-2. Looked like it started above the letters, then broke right into the zone. Not that I'm a fan of Ohio State, but I got a couple of good friends that go there, and if they were happening to listen to this broadcast, they wouldn't like it too much if I didn't refer to the Buckeyes as The Ohio State University. Now the 0-2, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike three. Korsinski goes with the big curve, and he gets strikeout number 3. And there's 2 down here in the third.
Now batting center fielder from Southeastern Community College, number 44, Pierce Howard.
So now the lefty Pierce Howard will step in. He was Korsinski's first strikeout victim. That ended the first inning, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. Howard out of Southeastern Community College, a native of Lynchburg, Virginia, went to Liberty Christian High School.
Will be joining Southeastern this season. Will become teammates with left-handed pitcher for the Baltimore Dodgers, Casey Gast, who picked up the win earlier today.
First pitch, breaking ball, grounded foul down the line. So the count's now 0-1 as Korsinski looks to get this lefty-on-lefty matchup to go his way and get out of the inning. Still a runner in scoring position. That's Brandon Crosby. So he got on with a leadoff single and advanced to second on the chopping ground out to first base by Christian Adorno. However, he's been stranded there, at least for now. Barnwell struck out swinging. And the 0-1 to Howard. Breaking ball grounded towards Austin James. He's up with it on 4 hops. Throwing to first is in time. So Korsinski allows the runner to get to second, but he works out of it for a scoreless frame. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning. Dodgers and the Express tied 0-0. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Joey White as we're set to go in the bottom of the third inning here between the Baltimore Dodgers and the Rockville Express. A 0-0 game. The Express got the first hit for anybody in this ball game. It was a leadoff single up the middle for Brandon Crosby. He got himself to second base with one away, but Jay Korsinski did a nice job, and the Express couldn't get him in, so the score stays tied at 0. The Dodger catcher, Alex Wilansky, will step in for his first at-bat of the day. Dodgers have just one base runner. That was Shane Coker, who reached on an error to start the second inning, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses well outside and in the dirt as well, or ball one. But this dirt, well, it's just turf. The only thing that bounces up is the little rubber pellets. And the 1-0 fastball popped high into the air behind second base. Coming in on it is the center fielder, Howard. He calls everybody off and makes the catch. There's one away. Lance got a fastball he thought he could drive, but it was up in the zone. He just got under it, and it's out number one. So now it's going to be Paul DePino. He's the third baseman here in Game 2 for the Dodgers. Did not appear in Game 1 as the switch-hitting Taj Porter got the start at the hot corner, but DePino is in now. Just finished up his senior year of high school, and he'll be headed to High Point to play baseball this fall. First pitch, breaking ball, swings right through it for strike one.
It didn't join the Dodgers until a little later in the season. Had to finish up a couple things at high school, like prom, possibly graduation, had to be thrown in there as well. So he's back with the Dodgers now for the remainder of the summer.
Yeah, those seem important, prom and graduation from McDonough High School. He's a native of Owings Mills, Maryland, so a local kid playing for the Dodgers, but will head to High Point, North Carolina. That's where he'll play his college ball. The High Point Panthers this season finished 4th in the Big South Conference. Won one game in the Big South tournament, but couldn't get any further than that. Fastball misses outside. The count's now 2-1. So Big South this season, just a one-bid conference to the NCAA tournament. So High Point didn't get in. And now the 2-1 to DePino. Swing and a miss at a good changeup. The count's now 2-2. Of course, the Big South known for Coastal Carolina winning the 2016 NCAA championship at the College World Series. Kind of out of nowhere was Coastal Carolina, and then well, they made the move, and they left the Big South after the 2016 season. So not as much name recognition in that conference this year. 2-2 is a fastball that misses outside, and the count's now full. Capella into his wind, and the payoff pitch. Pop foul over the Express dugout as DePino stays alive. And now another payoff pitch that's lined into right field, going over, and that is a foul ball. Just inches foul. So the count will stay at 3-2. We're going to have to issue a big apology here. The lineup we were given had Paul DePino in it for the Dodgers, and as far as I can see, that looked like 10 on the jersey, but as he swung and turned, it turned out to be Zach Seal, number 19. 3-2 to him is inside ball 4, so that's Zach Seal, not Paul DePino, who draws a one-out walk. Now, Seal got the start over at first base back in Game 1, made that great play to end the game in the 7th inning, so he moves over to the hot corner where he's been playing most of his baseball so far this summer. So instead of DePino, it's going to be Zach Seal.
Well, very much like DePino, Seal was another guy who came onto this team late playing for Wake Forest. They made a deep postseason run, so now he's with us for the majority of the summer. Wasn't too far off with those comments.
And the fastball in there to Joey Ortiz for strike one. And of course, Zach Seal's Wake Forest team took down the schools that Joey and I go to, or at least it was in the same regional of the NCAA tournament. 0-1's line straight back for strike number 2. It was a Winston-Salem regional that featured Wake Forest as the 1 seed, West Virginia. That's where Joey White attends college. They were the 2nd seed. My Maryland Terrapins were the 3rd seed, and then local team UMBC was the number 4 seed.
Yeah, they made quick work of everybody in there. They're a high-power team, great offense, and a killer pitching staff.
0-2 is lined out to right field. Going back, Crosby at the track, reaches up and makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Putting a ride into that one was Ortiz, but didn't have enough juice to get out there to that short fence in right center field. And it wasn't even Wake Forest that took out Maryland. West Virginia knocked them out without the Terps ever playing the Demon Deacons, but then the Wake Forest offense put on a show in that final game of the regional to take out the Mountaineers. They ended up lasting 3 games with the eventual national champion Florida Gators in the Super Regional, but of course the Gators got the best of them. Went on to win it all, taking down LSU in the College World Series final.
And kind of a surprise there, they're actually one of 4 teams in all of the NCAA to win a title in football, basketball, and baseball in their history.
That pitch misses down low to Nick Ortega, and the count's now 1-1. Of course, those basketball championships, they got them back-to-back. That Al Horford, Joakim Noah combination they had back in the mid-2000s. 1-1's a fastball that's on the inside part of the plate, and the count's now 1-2. Of course, the football team has had guys like Tim Tebow, who now finds himself on the diamond. Recently promoted to high A ball in the Mets organization. 1-2, Ortega just gets a piece of it, and the count stays right there.
Interestingly enough, with the move to high A ball, the Mets can now make money off of his likeness and jersey. So now, when he was in low-class single A, they weren't generating any money off the Tebow name. Now they're able to get a little bit of that, take some cash in.
So I'm guessing that move wasn't really a baseball one.
I'm hearing that it wasn't necessarily because of his ability.
1-2 is lined to shortstop on 2 hops. Up with it is Adorno. Throws on to Lennox for the force. And getting out of the inning is Capellan. So the Dodgers get 1 runner on the walk to who we thought was Paul DePino, but ended up being Zach Seal. And we'll head to the 4th inning here at Johns Hopkins. I'll hand the play-by-play duties over to Joey White for the next few innings. This is the Dodgers 0 and the Express 0. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Joey White as I'll hand the play-by-play duties over to Joey for these next couple of innings.
Thank you very much, Connor. As they said over the loudspeaker, the designated hitter for this game, Trent Brosdale, in the batter's box. Score remains 0-0 in the top half of the 4th inning. A.J. Korsinski comes in with his first pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. Trent Brosdale played last game, was the starting catcher, transitioned himself over to the DH role for this one. Trying to save those knees a little bit. It's a long summer. Went away last time on one of the many Korsinski strikeouts, one of the 3. Next pitch in from him is low in the dirt for a ball. Well, not dirt, actually. Like as Connor mentioned, it is the turf. And boy, we're thankful for the turf today. Had a little bit of a rain delay during the first game, and thankfully this turf's able to soak up and take in a lot of water, shorten what could have been a very, very long rain delay. Next pitch from Korsinski in for a strike after 3 straight balls. Count now 3-1. Korsinski out of the stretch. He delivers in a kind of a half swing there from Trent Brosdale. Not happy with himself, puts the count full at 3-2. Kind of got fooled on that one. Korsinski winds up and delivers, and a swing all the way through that one. Brosdale actually lost the bat, hit the screen, and kind of went out of play, and that's going to be another strikeout for Korsinski with a little more action than you usually get on a strikeout.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more pine tar. That bat went flying, luckily into the netting behind home plate, so it didn't go into the stands, didn't go into the dugout either, so really nobody was in much danger, but you really want to try to hold on to the bat.
That's usually the way to go. As Korsinski now lines up after the strikeout against Billy Lennox. First pitch bounces in front of home plate and into the glove of Wolanski for a ball. That's Korsinski's 4th strikeout on the day. As Lennox drops down a bunt, fielded by Korsinski, the lefty tries to throw it over to first, but it will not be in time. Shane Coker makes the catch, but Billy Lennox uses his speed, gets himself onto first with a bunt single.
Yeah, still a good play from Korsinski. He had to go over to his right, pick it up, and then turn, being the left-handed thrower, and whip one over to first base. It was a good throw right on target to Coker, but a little bit of a bobble when he picked it up. Just wouldn't let him make the play in time.
That's going to put one on now for Jack Berry, the third baseman. As Korsinski bounces another one in front of Wolanski, who can't keep it in front of him. That's going to take Lennox over to second on the wild pitch. That's the second time in this inning that Korsinski's had a little bit of trouble with the curve, bounced it in front of home plate. Didn't necessarily mean to use the movie title right there, but sometimes things happen when you're calling a game. 1-0 count. That pitch is a high fastball from Korsinski, 2-0. Last time Barry was up, had a little bit of an unfortunate situation, was hit in the helmet with a pitch by Korsinski, had to shake himself off, get over to first base, luckily uninjured. That pitch from Korsinski is outside now, 3-0 the count. Korsinski was a little bit visibly concerned, visibly shaken from that, then walked the next batter, but then was able to get out of the jam. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Jack Berry. He gets on base 2 times without ever putting bat on ball. And that's going to put runners on first and second for the first baseman, Dakota McFadden. Korsinski working out of the stretch, looks at the runner at second, reaches back and fires, and that one's going to be high to the catcher, Alex Wolanski, who goes to the mound to talk to his pitcher. The first real jam that Korsinski's been in so far today. So Wolanski wants to stand up, have a little bit of a chat with him, takes his helmet off.
Yeah, you never know. They could sit down.
Yeah. There's no rule against it, right?
I mean, it would be a little different, but who would say anything?
In the last game, McFadden went 0 for 4. 3 of those going out as ground outs. A ground out here would surely help Korsinski's case, possibly a double play ball to get him out of the inning. It's a 1-0 count with 2 on here. In the top of the 4th, Korsinski fires another high one. That is 6 straight balls for A.J. Korsinski out there on the mound. Picks up a little bit of dirt, picks up the rosin bag, actually trying to get a little bit of a better feel on the ball. And that's another outside pitch there for Korsinski. Can't find the strike zone after picking up 4 strikeouts through the first 4 1/3 innings, struggling to get the last 2 outs. And that's another one that's bounced right in front of the plate. Korsinski really having trouble getting a solid grip on the baseball to be able to utilize his pitches. loads the bases. The second walk for Dakota McFadden, and that brings up Sam Goldberg.
Yeah, Dakota McFadden has been at the plate twice in this game, and he's seen 8 pitches. They've all been out of the strike zone. He hasn't even thought about having his bat leave his shoulder yet, as he's upped his on-base percentage, been on base 2 times without even really having to do much. So things not going so well for Korsinski here with 8 consecutive pitches out of the strike zone, but he'll at least get a lefty-on-lefty matchup that he's already been successful with. Goldberg grounded out to second base to end the threat in the second.
Starting to see a little bit of action over in the Dodgers bullpen.
Interesting going on over here at first. We had Korsinski stepping off the mound looking to first. Then now you have Goldberg going down to his third base coach. Shane Coker and the umpire having a conversation out near first base. I don't really know what happened to start that conversation, but now the umpire back towards the foul line, and bases juiced for Goldberg.
As Connor said, bases loaded, 1 out. Take the force out at home on a ground out. Double play would end the inning. Middle infield currently a double play depth. The third baseman, who's now Zach Seal, even with the bag, actually probably in towards the grass. As that next pitch from A.J. Korsinski, another ball, this time at the feet of the lefty Sam Goldberg.
Yeah, it's 9 straight out of the strike zone, and he's not really close with any of them. And here's your visit to the mound. Wouldn't even be surprised if this was a pitching change in the middle of a count here to Goldberg.
Yeah, head coach Derek Brown coming out to talk here, not the pitching coach Ron Waters. So it looks like Korsinski's going to give up the ball here. That's going to do it for him. Leaves the game after 9 straight balls without sacrificing any runs, though. The 3 guys on base right now will be his responsibility. As the Dodgers make a pitching change in the top half of the 4th, we're going to send it out for a quick break. Then we'll let you know who's relieving Korsinski. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Back with you in the top half of the 4th inning. Bases are juiced right now. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the Dodgers made a pitching change. They brought in the Creighton righty John Sikowski, who isn't working off of much rest, if any rest at all. Had a difficult outing in his last one, and he's not in a much better situation right now.
Yeah, last night Sikowski got the start against the D.C. Grays, and, well, you could say things didn't really go his way. He lasted a third of an inning against the Grays, gave up 6 runs on 6 hits. The silver lining is he didn't walk anybody, so it wasn't a command issue. It was just the Grays were all over his pitching. And the other thing is he didn't really throw too many pitches, so as a usual reliever, that's why he's available again today.
The first pitch from Sikowski continues the rain of called balls here. That's 2-0 the count now on Sam Goldberg, the lefty. That makes 10 straight called balls from the umpire at home. And that one goes inside on the inside corner to Goldberg for a strike. Goldberg kind of jumped out of the way thinking that one was going to hit him. Able to stay and hit part of the black on home plate to get the first strike in quite a while.
It was 10 balls in a row by Dodger pitching until that strike there from Sikowski.
Goldberg lays down the bunt down the third base line, and it goes out. That is foul, picked up by Zach Seal.
That was a suicide squeeze attempt right there.
Yeah, Billy Lennox was on his way home. Billy Lennox was on his way home trying to generate the first run of the game. But that one scraped down into foul territory, picked up by the third baseman, Zach Seal, and everyone's going to get resituated and go again.
Yeah, all Goldberg really had to do was put it anywhere in play, and he looked like he tried to lay down the perfect bunt, tried to put it down the third baseline. He just missed having the perfect bunt, but that's not really what you need there.
The 2-2 pitch gets driven out into center field. That's going to be caught by Shelby. Billy Lennox is going to make his way home for the first run of the game. Fielded out on third base by Zach Seal. It's going to put runners on second and third. Credit a sac fly to Sam Goldberg, bringing home Billy Lennox.
Yeah, not the greatest decision there from Jaron Shelby to throw that ball into third base. He didn't have a great shot at getting Barry out at third, and when he did throw that ball to third, that allowed Dakota McFadden to move up from first to second on the sacrifice fly. So now, even though there's two down, two runners in scoring position here for the Express as Crosby comes to the plate.
That first pitch into Crosby will be a ball. Crosby, one of the two guys on the team who got a hit off of Korsinski. It really was a command issue that took AJ off the mound as he calls for time in the right-handed batter's box. 1-0 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. And that one's going to be low and outside. Wolanski catches it out in the left-handed batter's box. As we mentioned, Sikowski struggled in his last start, again going only a third of an inning, but he's been a guy this season who's been able to generate outs. As that next pitch is high for another called ball, 2-0 the count. In one game this year, he came in relief, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. So he's known to have a power arm and be able to get it done for the team this year. Wolanski giving him the signs. He looks in at the catcher. Sikowski out of the stretch, fires again. That one's a high fastball, caught the top of the zone, puts the count at 3-1. The shadows creeping into the outfield here as the sun sets at Stroberg Stadium. And that one is hit hard down the first base line, and it is foul. So that's going to put the count at full 3-2 with 2 out. Sikowski's fought his way back in this one.
Yeah, Crosby just missed extra bases and 2 RBI there, but about a foot foul as it was lined way out of the reach of Shane Coker, who just had to watch it go down the line and hope it would hook foul, and it just did, as Ortega also playing way off the line in right field.
The 3-2 pitch is in, and that's a breaking ball. Strike swinging. That's going to do it here from the top of the fourth. A strikeout from John Sikowski ends it, but not before they get a run on a sac fly. Stay tuned for the bottom half of the fourth. The Dodgers are going to try to get that one back. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Coming back for the bottom half of the fourth inning, Joey White here alongside Connor Newcomb. In the top of the fourth, the Rockville Express finally got on the board. AJ Korzinski had a little bit of trouble with his command, put the bases loaded, and then a sac fly against John Sikowski brought home 1 run. And at the plate now is Brandon McElwain, the designated hitter in this game. Takes a called strike. Just to finish up the line on A.J. Korsinski, he went 3 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, and it was earned. 4 strikeouts and 3 balls. He did hit 1 pitch. He did hit 1 batter. As McElwain takes a high ball. One and 1 the count. The pitch in from Capellan. McElwain can't connect on that one. Swings for another strike, 1 and 2. Capellan continues to deal now out of the windup. Fires that one in just a little bit high. That's going to be a ball, 2 and 2 the count. Next one in, and McElwain chasing that one outside in the left-handed batter's box. Really wanted to connect on that, unable to do so. And Capellan strikes him out swinging.
Yeah, for Capellan, strikeout number 3 in this game as he starts to use that power stuff. He's mowing down these Dodgers hitters who have 2 base runners. An error that Shane Coker reached on as he's back up. That started the second. Then the 1-out walk to Zach Seal in the third, but still no hits for the Dodgers here through 3 1/3.
That brings up, as you said, the Creighton first baseman Shane Coker, who is the only man to get on base in this game other than the walk. Looking to connect, break Capellan's no-hit streak that's going on right now. As he hits one hard down the first base line, Dakota McFadden slips on his way to make the play, ends up getting there, runs into his pitcher Capellan, who was trying to help him out. Going to see if he needed to make the play. He didn't need it. Either way, that becomes 1 out for the Rockville Express. As McFadden looks over at the first base bag, I don't know if he saw a banana over there. Maybe there was a little bit of oil slick, but he had tough time with his footing.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest out. But then again, neither was Zach Seals to end the game. Kind of bobbled the ball a little bit, knocked it down off his body, but all outs count the same.
Looks just as good in the scorebook, and that's going to bring up Austin James, the shortstop, hitting back down in the 5-hole. He actually hit in the 2-hole earlier in this game, right behind leadoff man Joey Ortiz. He takes the first one for a strike, and then he pops one up into shallow center field. Pierce Howard gets right underneath that one, and that's going to do it for the bottom half of the fourth. Dodgers are retired in order pretty quickly by Capellan. When we come back, John Sikowski is going to try to hold off the Rockville Express for another inning. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Coming at you from the top half of the 5th inning, score is 1-0. Express leading the Baltimore Dodgers. Connor Newcomb alongside me. I'm Joey White, here to finish this inning before I toss it back to Connor. He'll take you the rest of the way. Top of the order now up for the Rockville Express. Christian Adorno, the shortstop. So far in this game, 0 for 2, a fly out to left field and a ground out to the first baseman, then fielded cleanly by the pitcher, Korsinski, at the time. John Skowski now in the game. The 1-0 pitch hit hard to the shortstop, Austin James, who fields that one easily. Coker goes down to a knee, still able to make the play. Another little bit of an ugly out there. I don't want to say ugly, but it definitely was not the natural motion you would see from a first baseman trying to stretch out for that one. Either way, it's an out.
Coming from a high school first baseman here, I can tell you that was the sun.
Had to have been.
People try to say, you can't use the sun as an excuse, but that sun is at a perfect angle to be right in his eyes right now, and he almost kind of tried to get out of the way while also catching the ball. Luckily, perfect throw from Austin James gets out number one.
You try to wear sunglasses to hide from it. You can't escape the sun as a first baseman, especially here at Johns Hopkins University. And the batter now is Jacob Barnwell. Barnwell takes a ball, then a curveball comes in for a strike. Another one of these guys who's 0-2, and that one is chopped down the third base line. Zach Seal tries to make the play, throws it over to Coker. That one gets past Coker out towards the Rockville Express bullpen, and on the throwing error, that's going to take Jacob Barnwell over to second.
Yeah, that'll be an infield single there for Barnwell. That would have been a heck of a play. Zach Seal could have thrown him out, made the barehanded pickup, then threw on to first. Don't think the sun had as much to do with that. That throw was just offline. But about the sun, I mean, sunglasses over there at first base, they can do as much as they can for you. You can block the sun. But when that sun is at the angle like that, it's a lot lower in the sky, and it's coming right at your face. The ball gets stuck in there. There's not any sunglasses that are going to help you out there. But that one was just a throw offline from Zach Seal.
Runner now on second with one out. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Pierce Howard, the lefty, who so far in this game had a strikeout in the first and then grounded out to the shortstop later to end the inning, end the third. The 0-1 pitch is now outside for a ball, 1-1 the count. John Skowski now taking the signs in from his catcher, trying to keep that runner from coming in. And that one is roped hard down towards the Rockville Express bullpen. Hits the netting out of play. Count now 1-2.
That pitch looked like it was in the danger zone for Pierce Howard, at least the danger zone for opposing pitchers, but he was just a little ahead of it. Roped it down the line foul, but a lot of lefties like that pitch down and in. It's in kind of their natural swing path, and Skowski just enough break on it to get away with it.
Howard with that open stance takes the pitch way outside from John Skowski, who falls off the mound a little bit awkwardly. Might not have gotten great footing as he fired in that fastball. That's going to put the count at 2-2. One out here in the top half of the fifth inning. Rockville Express currently leading 1-0. Howard gets back into the box, a little bit of an open stance. Eyes up the pitcher, John Sikowski, who's getting in the signs before Howard quickly calls a timeout. Bob Babb Field is a beautiful place to play baseball, that's for sure, but one of the problems is the lack of lighting. As Howard pops that one out into left field, Brian Tago gets underneath that one for the second out. Throws that one in. Austin James to keep Barnwell at second. As I was saying, Joe Cannon Stadium's nice from the standpoint that you do have overhead lighting for when it gets dark out. Games usually start in Hanover at around 7 o'clock. This doubleheader started at 3:30. The next game started at around 6. If it gets dark out, there's no way to keep the game going. There's nothing to illuminate the field. And with the rain delay, it can be a race against time right now as the Dodgers are just trying to get through this game.
Yeah, it can put the teams in a tough situation, but right now they're just focused on this. They didn't let the weather get to them, so I don't think the darkness will either.
And then the first pitch into Trent Brosdale is in for a strike. Brosdale's been pretty unlucky at the plate so far, striking out twice, both of them swinging. And that next one in just about the same spot for a strike, down in the count 0-2. 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th. John Sikowski trying to make sure the bleeding doesn't pour over, generate more runs for the Rockville Express.
And a little bit of action in the Dodger bullpen. Right-hander Jack Cheney getting loose.
The next pitch, slapped down the third base line towards the Dodger dugout. Fielded cleanly by the third base coach over there. Keeps the count at 0-2.
But, you know, Cheney warming, but Sikowski's got the length, unless those pitches he threw yesterday are really hampering him now. He could finish off this game on the mound for the Dodgers.
Timeout called on the field as John Sikowski looks to make a fool of Trent Brosdale once again in this game. That pitch is fired in and hit down the first base line. Joey Ortiz out to get it, unable to make the catch. Thought it was in his glove, unable to do so. The throw down to Alex Wolanski will not be in time. Jacob Barnwell comes all the way around from second to score a run. And that's going to put the Rockville Express up 2-0.
Now, that was a very tough play. And Joey Ortiz is a very good and a very slick fielder. But on that one, it looked like he pulled up a little short. Now, there was no way he was going to get over there and get under the ball, but it looked like he pulled up a little short, trying to make kind of a reaching catch rather than run through the ball and make the play. And right there, cost the Dodgers with a run, and the Express lead has doubled.
We're going to rule that a single here for the Dodgers as the next batter, Billy Lennox, takes a called strike. Ortiz still preserves 0 errors on the season. But an RBI hit from Trent Brosdale puts the Express up 2-0.
Run could go down as unearned, though, to Sikowski, as the runner ended up getting to second base via the throwing error from Zach Seal.
Brosdale not a big threat to steal. Sikowski fires in, and that one is hit towards the third baseman, Zach Seal, who fires over to Coker. Sun not a problem this time. He's able to get the out. That's going to do it from the top half of the 5th. Rockville Express get another run, but the Baltimore Dodgers are going to have some work to do with their bats as we begin the bottom half of the 5th. Stay tuned with us here. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Back at it here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Baltimore Dodgers have some work to do with the bats. Only a 7-inning game. They don't have much time left to try to get back these 2 runs. Cesar Capellan remains on the mound, pitching well for the Express. Still yet to give up a hit in this game. Jaron Shelby wearing the number 20 because it's the Dodger Blues. If he was wearing the white, he'd be wearing 30. He takes the batter's box trying to break up the no-hit bid. And that first pitch is outside for a ball. Last time Jaron Shelby was up, struck out swinging, although in the last game had a couple times where he made really solid contact, hit a nice double out into the gap in left center. That one will not be as well hit. That is chopped in front of home plate, fielded by the third baseman out there. Jack Berry, who makes the play for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, the Dodgers still searching for that first hit, and that right there isn't really going to cut it. That's a slow hit ground ball over to third. Nice play from Berry to not let the ball eat him up. He attacked the grounder, got a good hop, and made the easy throw over to first base for the first out.
And that's going to bring up the switch hitting Brian Tago, who against the right-handed Capellan will be hitting out of the left side.
The Dodgers just need a hit any way they can.
Even the bunt, Connor.
It could be. It could happen. I mean, they're down by 2, so a home run is only going to cut the lead in half here. You know, we are playing in a bandbox of a stadium where we haven't seen a home run.
First pitch into Tago was a strike. Second one, a fastball. That goes in for a strike as well. Down quickly in the count, 0-2. Erases the bunt possibility.
Well, you never know. He could be pretty sneaky here on 0-2.
We'll see if he does it. No, he does not. He actually gets that one over the head of the shortstop, Christian Adorno, and that's going to be the first hit of the game for the Baltimore Dodgers. Brian Tago doesn't really swing all the way through that one, kind of just slaps that one out into the gap there for the first hit of the game.
Yeah, maybe we jinxed Capellan enough, talked about his no-hitter that he had going, and finally he loses it, but a perfect piece of hitting there from Brian Tago. I mean, he gets behind 0-2 on 2 good pitches. He just has to protect. That fastball was off the outside corner, but Tago wasn't taking chances, just stuck his bat out there, and he was rewarded. And now you get your base runner on with your hit, and in this small park, the tying run's at the plate.
Alex Walensky comes up, and that one is hit hard underneath the glove of Adorno. Tago is running for third. The throw is in. It's going to be high and outside, so Tago's not going to have to slide. He gets up standing. The single from Alex Walensky puts runners on the corners, and Zach Seal coming up to the plate. And just after we talked about a no-hit bid, back-to-back singles from the Baltimore Dodgers start the threat.
A good job of hitting by Walensky. He knows that Capellan's going to be a little rattled when you have such a dominant performance. You don't give up a hit. When you finally give up that first hit, especially when you're getting a little later into a no-hitter. Now, I know it's only the 5th inning, but in a 7-inning game, it's probably in the back of your mind a little bit. So this happens a lot in the major leagues. You'll see guys take no-hitters into the 6th, into the 7th, and when they give up that first hit, they've been focusing so much on every single pitch that maybe that very next batter is when they relax. And he kind of tried to throw a get-me-over fastball, and Walensky wasn't having any of it. Smacked it into left field. Good attempt at shortstop there from Adorno, but ball went just under his glove on the dive. And Zach Seal, you know, runner on third, good chance where a fly ball can just get the run in, but you know he's looking for more. As we can again confirm, this is Zach Seal coming to the plate.
Definitely not Paul DePino. We can agree that Paul DePino did start this game. He was out there on third base when the game started. They made the substitution. Not entirely sure why. Don't want to speculate on that too much. The Rockville Express took some time. The infield came in. Rick Price, the manager, came on the mound, talk a little bit about the situation, trying to get Capellan out of the jam. Runners on the corners with one out. Zach Seal at the plate. Last time he was up, he reached on a walk. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that he swings all the way through. That'll be the first strike.
You know, a big hit here from Zach. It could really seal it for the Dodgers.
I thought Rob wasn't up here, so I didn't know whether I'd get a punt or not, but I do appreciate it. The next pitch in, that's going to be a strike on the outside corner. A fastball from Capellan puts Seal down quickly, 0-2.
But, of course, the starting pitcher for the Rockville is also really just looking to Caesar this opportunity.
That's enough out of you. That's enough. I'm done. That hit from Zach Seal goes right to Dakota McFadden. Tags. So run counts. Run comes all the way through as McFadden touches first base, throws the ball over to second for the force out of Walensky, but not before a runner comes home. So that cuts into the lead. The Dodgers are only down by one score, 2-1. And we're now going to transition into the top half of the 6th inning. Connor Newcomb's going to take you the rest of the way, but stay tuned. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball.
Connor Newcomb alongside Joey White here is we're in the top of the 6th inning, and the umpires are having quite the conversation here out on the field. The scoreboard currently reads Express 2, Dodgers 1. Now, a very weird play to end the inning. With runners on first and third, it was a hard ground ball hit by Zach Seal to first. Picking it up was McFadden and stepping on the bag, so that makes 1 out, and a tag play in between first and second. So the rule there is if the runner, which was Brian Tago at third base, if he touches home before the out is recorded on Alex Wolanski between first and second, then the run does score. Wolanski kind of gave himself up, ran out of the baseline, and then was tagged. The home plate umpire ruled that Tago had touched the plate in time, so the inning ended, but the Dodgers got the run. But looks like John Sikowski's pretty much ready to go. Alex Wolanski's already thrown the ball down to second base, so the Dodgers are ready to get going. The Express, they're ready to go as well, as Barry's ready to get in the batter's box, but the umpire's still discussing things, and now finally they'll take this discussion over to the Rockville manager, Rick Price.
Another one of the questions at hand is whether Wolanski, as he gave up, thought that there was probably 3 outs and that the inning was over, might have left the base path, in which case the moment he leaves the base path, he is considered out, and Brian Tago wouldn't score. So that's the conversation that the umpires are having right now, whether Tago comes in as a viable run or not.
So the other thing is, Seal, because it was a double play, he's not awarded with the RBI. So the run will just score on the fielder's choice there. But the umpire's still having a conversation over there with Price. Price doesn't look too happy, which could bode well here for the Dodgers, as they're looking to cut this lead in half here. If the run does stay on the board, it would be a 2-1 game. The Dodgers would still have the 6th and 7th innings to try to come back if, of course, Sikowski and whoever comes out of the bullpen can keep the game at 2-1 or potentially 2-0 if they take this run off the board for the Dodgers.
And it wouldn't be the first time that the Baltimore Dodgers have scored runs that didn't involve hits. You know, they went through many games in the early part of the season where they couldn't generate a single hit, but yet were able to put runs on the board. Either way, cutting into this lead with 2 innings left would do a lot for the confidence of John Sikowski out there, who's been able to have a decent amount of success on the mound.
So it looks like the run's going to stay on the board. The Baltimore Dodgers have cut into this lead. It's now a 2-1 ball game as John Sikowski's back out on the mound for the Dodgers to start the top of the 6th, as Jack Chaney's still getting loose out there in the Dodger bullpen. But he'll face Jack Barry to start this inning. First pitch breaking ball. That's in there on the outside corners. This is Connor Newcomb back on the play-by-play for the last 2 innings. Nice job by Joey White. Joey had a full day. Did 2 games here in the broadcast booth. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there from Sikowski, tailing off the outside corner. The count's now 0-2. I was back up there, a row behind us here in the press box. Bab Field running the Twitter account, posting fire memes.
The ever-active Twitter account, as Alex Wolanski is able to field that strikeout from John Sikowski, throw over to first as it bounced in the dirt, able to make the play for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and that looks like it's going to be strikeout here for Sikowski.
But as you were saying, definitely, I would describe the memes as fire. I feel like I'm a neutral enough party to describe the memes as fire. Had a nice Jordan crying one thrown in the day, looking at the weather map.
That first pitch there to Dakota McFadden misses outside, and now Dakota McFadden. The streak continues. He's seen 9 balls today, and that one is in there at the knees. So for the first time today, Dakota McFadden sees a pitch in the strike zone. That was pitch number 10 he has seen today. And the 1-1 slider runs too far outside. McFadden thought about it. That pitch looked like it may have started on the outside corner, but a lot of slide there from Sikowski's arm, and the count's now 2-1. So McFadden officially 0 for 0 on the day, drawn 2 walks, 1 in the second and 1 in the fourth. 2-1, that's grounded to third base. Seals up with it on 3 hops. Throw over to first is in time as Coker still shielding his eyes from the sun, but makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
I'm not going to use the Seal pun. I feel like you did that already, and I'm going to withhold myself from doing that another time.
I don't know what you could have used there, but I'm sure you could have come up with something. But
Sealed McFadden's fate.
Ah, good stuff.
There you go.
I'm a fan. First pitch is Sam Goldberg. Slider in there at the knees. The count's now 0-1. Goldberg 0 for 1 on the day, but he does have an RBI. He grounded out to second base back in the second. Had an RBI sac fly with the bases loaded in the fourth. That put the Express on the board. It was the first run of the game, and it gave them a 1-0 lead. They now lead it 2-1. 0-1, swing and a miss. Fastball blew it right by the lefty. And the count is 0-2. John Sikowski looking for a big 1-2-3 inning, the big shutdown inning after the Dodgers put up a run to cut this Express lead in half. Dodgers sitting at 9-15 on the season. The Rockville a game back at 8-16. Here's the pitch. That's lined to shortstop. Austin James up with it on one hop. Throw off the back foot. And it can't make the catch. Over there is Shane Coker. Kind of a weird hop. Got up in him, and he couldn't come up with it. Should go down as a base hit over there. An infield single for Sam Goldberg, and he'll be on with 2 down in the 6th.
It wasn't a guarantee that that one would have been an out as he was flying down the base paths. Goldberg able to get safe.
Brandon Crosby, first pitch, 2 hops to Austin James. He walks it over, steps on the second base bag, and Sikowski does give up the hit, but one more pitch gets him out of the 6th inning. So John Sikowski gets the shutdown frame. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Dodgers with 6 outs left to work with, trailing 2-1. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Joey White. And we're ready to go in the bottom of the 6th inning. Joey Ortiz at the top of the Dodger order. He's going to lead things off for the Dodgers as they look to tie this game. They trail 2-1 to the Rockville Express. Their starting pitcher, Cesar Capellan, still on the mound, working through 5 innings, has given up just the 1 run on only the 2 hits. Both of those hits coming in the bottom of the 5th inning when the Dodgers were able to put across their first run in quite a weird fashion, but the run did end up counting. Here's the first pitch to Ortiz. He lines it towards right field, but right there is the first baseman, McFadden, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. So a base hit taken away from Ortiz. Really kind of unfortunate there for Joey Ortiz. Nice piece of hitting, took a fastball in the outside corner and went right with it. If that's over the head of McFadden, or if he's not standing there, that's a leadoff double for Ortiz, who's really been the hottest hitter in this Dodger lineup.
At least a double. With the speed, it could have been a triple.
Now Nick Ortega swings right through a first pitch fastball. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to second base back in the 1st inning, then grounded into a fielder's choice, shortstop to second baseman to end the 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Fastball runs way outside. Count evens up at 1. Capellan, as I said, now through 5 1/3, has given up just the 2 hits and the 1 run on the board for the Dodgers. 1-1 slider, checked his swing. They'll check to first, and yes, he did go, and the count's now 1-2. So now Nick Ortega behind in the count, 1-2, as Capellan looks for another strikeout here against the Dodgers. Would be number 4 of the day for him. 1-2 pitch, slider runs outside. Count evens up 2-2. Capellan looking to work his way all the way through. Possible 7-inning complete game here. 2-2 pitch to Ortega right there for a called strike 3. Ortega watched it all the way in, and it was pretty much right down the middle as there's 2 down here in the 6th.
I don't know what Ortega was up there looking for, but that one right down the heart of the plate took a little bit off of it, but caught that one looking, walks back over to the dugout, pretty disappointed with himself.
Here's Brandon McElwain as Capellan's into his wind. First pitch fastball misses in the dirt for ball 1. McElwain had a big game, game 1 of this doubleheader that the Dodgers won 5-4 over the Express. He had 2 hits and 3 RBI. 1-0, that misses down low. The count's now 2-0. The Dodger DH, who was playing right field in game 1, also made 2 nice plays in the outfield, twice taking away extra bases at the warning track.
No such luck so far in this game with 2 strikeouts, both of them swinging.
And the 2-0, fastball poured down the middle, counts now 2-1. Capellan still bringing the heat here against this Dodger lineup, who's only gotten 2 hits against the big righty. Stands on the first base side of the rubber, pretty square to home plate, then goes into his full wind. The 2-1, fastball off the outside corner, good take for McElwain, and the count's now 3-1. McElwain showing off his glove and his bat in this game, but he's been able to show off his arm as well this season, an arm that's been well trained. Here's the 3-1. Breaking ball misses above the letters, and a 5-pitch walk with 2 outs here to McElwain as the tying run's going to get to first base as Shane Coker comes to the plate for the Dodgers.
Now batting first baseman from Creighton University, number 24, Shane Coker.
So McElwain gets himself on base, and the Dodgers get speed on base as well, as they have a chance that a gapper can tie the game. Pellen's set, first pitch, breaking ball got away from him. Good job by the catcher there, Barnwell, to get up and make the stop, and the count's 1-0.
Yeah, Coker been really a great addition to this ball club. Came about halfway through the season. This is his 10th game with the team. He's already has 10 hits.
Pellen's set, looking at McElwain. Now the 1-0, fastball, that's lined into left field. Nobody's over there as they were playing towards the gap. McElwain rounds second, he's heading for third base, and he's getting the wave at third, but now the stop sign is thrown up quickly, and McElwain will stop at third. A double from Shane Coker. He's the go-ahead run at second. The tying run stands at third for the Dodgers.
And a nice piece of hitting, unexpected to the Rockville Express. Coker hits that one kind of off the hands as it hooks down the third base line, and it was very apparent on that hit that Brandon McElwain is limping a little bit as he was coming around. Not the usual speed you see from him. He barely made it over to third, was really limping hard. And actually, now that I mentioned it, they're going to get a sub in for him.
Yeah, so David Bellamy is going to be the pinch runner for Brandon McElwain, who's been a little gimpy today with a little bit of a hamstring issue, and also Rick Price headed to the mound for the Express. We'll see if he makes a pitching change here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th, runners on second and third. Rockville clinging to a 2-1 lead over the Dodgers here in Game 2 of this doubleheader at Johns Hopkins University. It's a homecoming doubleheader for the Dodgers, playing the Baltimore Dodgers, but play most of their games at Joe Cannon Stadium in Hanover. It's a true Baltimore game here at Hopkins. Looks like Price leaving the mound, and Capellan's going to stay in there for at least one more batter, see if he can retire Austin James, who's at the plate for the Dodgers. James today has hit the ball hard despite being 0 for 2 in this game. He lined out to left field in the second, then flew out to center field in the fourth, so he's 0 for 2. I said Brandon McElwain is out of the ball game after his 2-out walk. He got to third on the double, and David Bellamy out of New Mexico State will pinch run for him at third base, and it's Shane Coker with that 2-out double. He stands on second. He's representing the go-ahead run, Bellamy the tying run. The Dodgers trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Now a little bit of a talk here out on the field, and
from what I've been told, that was the coach's second visit of the inning to the mound, and that's what Coach Derek Brown's up there to have a discussion about.
I don't know if I recall the first visit, but Derek Brown was saying that's the second visit of the frame. That would mean Cesar Capellan would have to come out of this ball game. But the umpires come together and they rule just as I thought. That was only the first visit. is it made it look like the second because the manager did come out and he brought the whole infield in, which is usually what you do when you make a pitching change. But it was only the first visit, so it still will be Caesar Capellan against the Dodgers shortstop Austin James. James came into this game came into today hitting 282 with a team high 22 RBI and a team high 3 home runs. Now Jacob Barnwell will call time and go out to talk to his pitchers. This visit won't count towards the tally, but he's going to get a couple more words in with his big right-hander.
A few jeers from the Baltimore Dodgers faithful. Had a nice fan turnout to start out the day. Some rain put a hamper on that, but still have a few people remaining around the park. A lot of friends and family of these Dodgers players. And they aren't too fond of the amount of times Capellan's been able to chat with his catcher.
Yeah, we had a lot of kids in the park. It was a pretty hostile environment here for game one. Here's the first pitch to James. It's a good pitch in there on the outside corner. The count's now 0-1. A lot of kids were here as celebrating this homecoming doubleheader. And, well, the Rockville lineup was being introduced before game one. They were getting some boos from the Dodger fans.
That's what I like to hear, though, like a strong, rowdy fan base. That would be nice if we brought the team over this way to Baltimore.
0-1, lined into right field, diving play. It's made at second base by Lennox. The throw on to first is in time. He robs Austin James of a hit. The Dodgers of 2 runs and what would have been the lead. What a play by the Towson Tiger, Billy Lennox, and he ends the 6th inning. We'll head to the 7th. Could be the final frame here of these 2 games at Johns Hopkins University. Rockville 2 and Baltimore 1. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Joey White as we're set to go in this 7th and final inning, well, unless the game gets tied, here in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Minor league rules for the doubleheader here between the Dodgers and the Express, so 2 7-inning ball games. Dodgers took the first one 5-4, were able to hold on in the 7th. John Sikowski stays in, and his breaking ball looked like a strike, except it wasn't called one, and that misses up high for ball 1, or what I would assume to be up high. Sikowski in the set, the 1-0 fastball. That one, no question about it, right down the middle. And the count evens up 1-1. Dodgers won that game 5-4, gave up a couple of runs in the 9th. They were up 5-2 going into it. Then it was a 5-4 game, but Connor Grove held on to the lead. Swinging right through the fastball there is the leadoff hitter, Christian Adorno, and the count is now 1-2. Sikowski looking for 3 outs here to get his bats back to the plate, trailing by 1. 1-2 is fouled off the netting. The count stays right there. Sikowski into his set. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball hit hard into center field, but right at Shelby. He takes a couple steps towards right field and then makes a nonchalant catch, and there's 1 away. Kind of just let it drop into his glove, right at his hip, Yasiel Puig style, but an out's an out, and there's 1 away. So Adorno is retired, and now Jacob Barnwell, the catcher, steps in. First pitch from Sikowski, breaking ball misses up high, and that's going to be ball 1. And the 1-0 fastball fouled straight back, just missed getting over top of the netting and heading towards what cars could be parked right behind us, but hits off the netting instead, and the count is 1-1, and everybody's safe for now. Skowski set the 1-1 with one out. In the dirt, counts now 2-1.
Now, this stadium's a beautiful place to play baseball, but if the Dodgers were ever going to make this home, one thing I'd recommend, I'd like some better parking. I don't know how you do that, but
2-1, good slider. And wow, that's the wrong call down at first base. Jacob Barnwell went around on that slider, and they checked down to home plate umpire made the right call. You check down to first. He's got the better angle, and it didn't pay off for the Dodgers as the count's now 3-1. And here comes that 3-1. Fastball just off the inside corner, maybe a little below the knees as well. And John Sikowski not happy with those last two calls, but he issues a one-out walk.
Sikowski definitely upset with the way that one ended up. Thought he had the strikeout. We've seen a couple other calls over to first base on check swings. Those have gone around. That one looked very similar. Of course, we're sitting farther away than some of the umps have the ability to see. They have better angles, and you got to trust what they call. That's why we're up here and they're down there.
Pierce Howard takes the breaking ball, misses inside for a ball. Now Sikowski set, looking into the lefty. Fastball grounded down the first base line, and it goes foul past Shane Coker and into the right field foul territory. Sikowski would love another ground ball, this time in fair territory. They could get a double play and get himself out of the inning. Looking in for his sign, kind of has that right arm dangle in front of him while the left hand with the glove is clutched to his body. 1-1, maybe a slider that kind of lost to his arm side, didn't really move much and missed outside in the third and flew out to left in the fifth. 2-1, lined into right field for a base hit. Up with it, Ortega, he gets it in quickly. That'll keep Barnwell at second base, but 2 on with 1 out here for the Express in the top of the 7th.
And suddenly, once again, the Rockville Express are threatening. Another nice piece of hitting there by Pierce Howard. Shot that one, pulled it right into the gap. Puts 2 on, 1 out. And the catcher, Trent Brosdale, at the plate.
So Brosdale up. He struck out swinging in his first 2 at-bats in the second and the fourth, but then had an RBI single back in the 5th. Scored the second run of the day for the Express, so he's 1 for 3 with a ribby. First pitch, slider, pops it into the air. Foul territory near the Rockville dugout. Coker comes in and makes the catch. So Sikowski with 1 out, or with 1 pitch, gets the second out of the inning, and he'll face Billy Lennox, who made a beautiful play in the bottom of the 6th that ended the inning and kept the Dodgers from at least tying the game and most likely taking the lead. He'll get a chance to extend that Rockville lead here in the top of the 7th. Sikowski looking in for the sign. Now he comes set right around the middle of the rubber. First pitch, breaking ball right there for strike 1. Locked Lennox up. Good pitch. Lennox on the day, 1 for 3. Grounded out to second base in the 2nd and grounded out to third in the 5th. But in the middle, he singled and came around to score the first run for Rockville in the 4th inning. 0-1 pitch slider. Checked his swing, did Lennox, and he did not go around. Count evens up 1-1. Now Sikowski set, looks back at second, and the 1-1. Fastball misses off the outside corner, and the count's 2-1. Sikowski looking to find that pitch to get him the out. Really goes mostly fastball slider. You'll see a changeup thrown in there every once in a while, but really uses the fastball to get ahead and then the slider to put guys away. That's how he's had success this season, and he comes set again. 2-1 fastball that's flared into right field. Coming in is Ortega, and he gets under it and makes the catch. So Sikowski allows 2 runners to reach, but he gets out of the inning. So he puts up a 0, and we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The final chance for the Dodgers here in Game 2 of this doubleheader as they look for the sweep over the Rockville Express, but the Dodgers trail it 2-1. Coming up for Baltimore, it will be the bottom of the lineup, 7, 8, 9. Brian Tago, Alex Wolanski, and Zach Seal. We'll see if we see any pinch hitters or those guys come to the play as they look to tie it. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. So I misspoke at the end of the top of the 7th. It will be Jaron Shelby leading it off for the Dodgers. So instead, it'll be 6, 7, 8 in the Baltimore lineup. And the first pitch to him, fastball lined out to right field. Going back on it is Crosby. He's at the wall, and it's gone. Jaron Shelby goes deep on the first pitch of the inning. And the Dodgers, with one swing, have tied the game here in the bottom of the 7th. We've got a brand new ball game. Soak goes deep.
And that's the power we knew that Jaron Shelby has had all season. Had the double earlier, really ripped one into the gap. That time, hit it opposite field. Didn't try to pull it like a lot of guys will. Hit it back where it came from, out towards right center field. And that one had a lot of distance on it. Drove it well and tied up this ball game in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
So a bomb for Soak as he gets helped out by what I thought was a bandbox here today, but we didn't see any homers until the bottom of the 7th inning of the final game, and now Tago gets into one, but he gets under it. Can of corn out to left field, and Sam Goldberg made that a little more difficult than it needed to be, but 2 pitches, and now 1 home run and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Tago possibly a little bit antsy there, seeing that Capellan just got touched up, just got roughed up a little bit there on the mound. Didn't want to give him any opportunity to think about dialing back in. Swung at the first pitch he saw. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a whole lot of it. Popped that one up to left field.
So now Alex Wolanski, he's 1 for 2 on the day, singled in his last at-bat. First pitch squares to bunt, but pulls it back as the slider misses outside. 4-1. So Jaron Shelby gets the big hit the Dodgers were looking for. First pitch fastball up and out over the plate, goes right with it, sends it over the right center field wall for a home run. 1-0 pitch, another slider, breaks just off the outside corner. Good take from Wolanski. Counts now 2-0. And well, Shelby hit it in the perfect spot, just a little bit to the left of that bigger mesh wall out in right, so it could just get over the shorter wall for a home run in right center. 2-0, fastball misses below the knees, and the count's now 3-0, and I'm sure Wolanski will gladly take a walk here, and if he does get on, I would expect a pinch runner from the Dodgers. However, they have already used 2 players off the bench in this game. 3-0 to the Dodger catcher. Fastball misses up high in a 4-pitch walk, and the winning run now stands on first base for Baltimore.
And this is the first time in this game that I've seen Capellan visibly distraught, a little bit unnerved right now by the way the bottom half of this inning is gone. He's been pretty cool, calm, and collected all day, but after giving up the home run and issuing a 4-pitch walk, he looks a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, so off the bench today for the Dodgers. They've already used Zach Seal, who came in early for Paul DePino. And then they also used a pinch runner, David Bellamy, for Brandon McElwain. But this time, another pinch runner. And a good job by Derek Brown here to kind of make the switching easier if the Dodgers don't win in this inning. You get Shamoy Christopher in the game. He's a catcher coming in for the catcher Wolanski. So if this game continues into extras, you'll get Christopher right behind the plate without having to make another switch. And plus, he does bring a lot more speed than Wolanski. First pitch to Seal, swings through a good slider that broke just off the outside corner right at the knees. And the count is 0-1. So a bigger possibility of a double winning the game here with now Christopher standing on first. 0-1 is grounded foul down the first baseline. And rolls all the way into the corner as the count is quickly 0-2 as Caesar Capellan is ahead of the Wake Forest corner infielder, Zach Seal. Talked about Wake Forest as he got here with the Dodgers a little later into the season as Wake Forest won their regional in Winston-Salem, then went to a super regional, and after walking off Game 2 to continue it against the Florida Gators, Florida got the best of them in Game 3, and, well, they went on to win the national championship. Capellan set the 0-2, slider line foul over the dugout of Rockville, and the count stays 0-2. So Seal got to experience some winning in some big-time games, and this would be another pretty big-time win if he could walk it off here for the Dodgers as they look to sweep this homecoming doubleheader here at Johns Hopkins University. Capellan set. Quick check at Christopher at first, who barely has a lead. 0-2 is fisted out towards right field, and it falls in for a base hit. Christopher rounding second. He's heading to third. Here comes the throw in. Christopher's going to be held up at third base. And I think that was the right decision. The relay throw was coming in quickly from Crosby. He got it into McFadden. And I think the right decision was made there at third base. But the Dodgers will have runners on second and third with one out. And the other reason why I think that was a good decision is you could say their best hitter, Joey Ortiz, is coming to the plate here with a chance to win the game. And to be honest, if I'm Rockville, I'm putting him on first base right now.
Definitely. He's been the most consistent hitter for this team all season, the only guy hitting over 300. Additionally now, with a runner on third and only one out, a sac fly still wins the game for you. So holding up Christopher at third base isn't the worst thing in the world. You can still make contact and win the game, even if it isn't necessarily a hit.
And Joey Ortiz has just been incredible this season. Hitting 300 coming into the game with 16 RBI. And on deck is Nick Ortega, who's really struggled, hitting just 176 coming into the day. You got the base open at first. That runner wouldn't matter with the game tied and one out, and that's just what they're going to do. As Rick Price is thinking along the lines as myself, is now they're stepping off, and maybe a little confusion is whether or not the Major League rule or the new one applies to the Cal Ripken League. And still some confusion here, as I don't think anybody's completely sure whether or not they have to throw 4 pitches, but Capellan will come set, and the first delivery is outside. And they will intentionally walk Ortiz, but here in the Cal Ripken League, unlike the major leagues, that's really the one big thing that's different, I guess. They haven't instituted the automatic 4-pitch intentional walk. So, Joey, it looks like it's going to come down to Nick Ortega to try and win this ball game. Of course, there's a chance that he wouldn't get it done and the inning would continue. That would actually bring David Bellamy to the plate, which would be interesting. Brandon McElwain has been taken out of this game as a pinch runner. He would have been the hitter after Ortega, but it would be Bellamy. But Bellamy's been hitting well as of late. But first it'll be Nick Ortega who's going to get his shot. And there's the final pitch to Joey Ortiz. He'll take his base at first on the intentional walk. And now Nick Ortega has a shot to walk this thing up, to set the scene. The bases are loaded with Baltimore Dodgers. Alex Wilansky got a walk. He's now being pinch run for by Shamoy Christopher, who stands on third. He got to third on the double by Zach Seal, who stands on second. And Joey Ortiz on first with the intentional walk. Jaron Shelby led off the inning with a solo homer to tie it at 2. Brian Tago in the middle there did fly out to left. That's the only out of the inning. And it's Nick Ortega at the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day. His last at-bat was a strikeout looking in the 6th. Caesar Capellan will work out of the windup with the bases juiced. First pitch to Ortega. Fastball in there at the knees. That's a good spot to start this at-bat. And the count's now 0-1.
And truly what we both believe to be the right decision, putting Ortiz on first and putting Ortega at the plate. Capellan now seems dialed in. He's even a little bit angry from what it looks like, snatching the ball in and out of his glove a couple times.
Try to get Ortega to chase the slider there. A good block by Barnwell at home plate. And the count's now 1-1 as Ortega was able to lay off of that good breaking pitch. Caesar Capellan into his full windup. Here's the 1-1 to Ortega. Fastball line down the left field line. Base hit. Dodgers win it. It's a walk-off here in Game 2 of this homecoming doubleheader. Nick Ortega's the hero. It's Dodgers 3 and Express 2. They sweep the doubleheader. After winning game 1 5-4, they take game 2 3-2. An incredible comeback. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Jaron Shelby led it off with a home run to right center field on the first pitch. A fastball he lined over the right field wall to tie it at 2. After Brian Tago flew out, Alex Wilansky worked a 4-pitch walk. Chamoy Christopher pinch ran for him at first base, and then Zach Seal, who didn't get the start in this game, but came in for Paul Tapino, had a bloop double down the right field line. They held Christopher at third, but Seal got into second. The Express made a decision I still agree with here to intentionally walk the hottest hitter for the Dodgers, Joey Ortiz, sending him to first and facing Nick Ortega, and he got a 1-1 fastball and knew exactly what to do with it. Lining it down the left field line for an easy base hit, Chamoy Christopher trotted home, and the Dodgers win it 3-2 to complete the doubleheader sweep. The Baltimore Dodgers improved to 10-15 on the season. The Rockville Express, after losing 2 today, fall to 8-17. The starter in this game for the Dodgers was A.J. Korsinski. He went 3 1/3, left with the bases loaded and 1 out without giving up a run in the 4th inning. John Sikowski came in, gave up a sac fly that allowed the 1 run to score that would be charged to Korsinski. His final line, he went 3 1/3, gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run. He walked 3 and hit a batter and struck out 4. And then it was John Sikowski who finished things out, as he's done multiple times for the Dodgers this year. He ended up going 3 2/3 and gave up only the 1 run. And the Dodgers won the game while he was still on the mound. And soon we'll head down to Joey White, who's going to get himself a little post-game interview here as the Dodgers sweep this doubleheader. And then for the Rockville Express, it was Cesar Capellan who ends up going the full way for Rockville. He goes 6 1/3, gives up the 3 runs. He was on the mound still, allowing that walk-off single to Nick Ortega, but he was pretty dominant all the way through this game, through 6 innings and giving up just the 1 run. But then in the 7th, gave up the solo homer, let the bases loaded, and Rockville, they had a little bit of action in the bullpen, but never really anything committing to a guy coming into the game, so they let Cesar Capellan kind of have this one, and it didn't work out in their favor. Nick Ortega, he's got to be feeling good. They walked Joey Ortiz intentionally to pitch to him with the bases loaded, and he delivered, hitting below the Mendoza line this season. That should give him some confidence going forward. As the Dodgers will be off tomorrow, then we'll be back at Joe Cannon Stadium for their next game on Monday as they improve to 10-15 on the season. As soon we will get down to Joey Ortiz. He was the one standing on first base. We got Joey White, who's down on the field with the Dodgers' hero today, Nick Ortega, with the RBI single, the walk-off, in the bottom of the 7th inning to give the Dodgers a 3-2 win. And we'll send it down to Joey, who's with Nick Ortega.
Out here at Bob Babb's Field, I am with the hero of today's game, Nick Ortega, who drove in the game-winning RBI to secure the Dodgers' 3-2 victory in this game. And Nick, coming up with the bases juiced, 1 out, what were you looking for up there, and what helped you drive in that winning run?
I was getting a lot of sliders throughout the game, so I was just trying to be patient and get a fastball to hit either in the air or through the infield, and luckily I did.
Coming up with 2 wins today against the Rockville Express. Excuse me for a second. That's a cold one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways, I was saying, coming up with 2 wins here against the Rockville Express in a homecoming game, the Dodgers finally make their return to Baltimore. What does it mean? What does it feel to you to get these 2 wins and get an advantage over the Rockville Express over in the Division North?
We had a little 3-game win streak going on there, and then we had a little slide, but to get 2 here today is really huge, and we have an off day tomorrow, but to build on that, after the off day, come back with a little more energy is all we're looking forward to right now.
All right, go get a dry shirt, Nick. Thank you very much, man.
So that was Joey White down there with the hero of Game 2, Nick Ortega of the Baltimore Dodgers, who got a nice Gatorade bath there on the field as he's getting a little cold and a little wet, but it doesn't matter. He got the big walk-off hit as the Dodgers, as I said, sweep this doubleheader. In Game 1 over the Rockville Express, they win it 5-4, hold on in the 7th. The save goes to Connor Grove, but then in Game 2, they fight back, down 2-1 in the 7th. Jaron Shelby gets the solo homer. They load the bases, and then Nick Ortega with the walk-off single down the left field line. So the final line For the Express, 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. For the Dodgers, 3 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. And again, the Dodgers improved to 10-15 on the season with the 2 wins today. The Express fall to 8-17 with their 2 losses. So that'll be it from us here at Johns Hopkins University. For all our Dodgers staff, including Joey White, who was on the broadcast with me, and Rob Stadnick, who was broadcasting the first game, and this whole Dodgers staff, we thank you for listening in to both of these games here in this homecoming doubleheader. The final score of Game 2 once again, Nick Ortega, the walk-off single, as the Dodgers take down the Rockville Express by a score of 3-2.